Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sunshine, whatever time it is when you're watching this. This is your daddy in Dubai, and it's day 60. Can you believe it? 60 days in Dubai. Wow, it's been emotional. Look, yesterday I got to speak to you, man. It was so good to see your face. It was so good to engage and congratulate you on the fact that you managed to do. I got a message from you saying message or call Jaden, right? And when I asked you who sorted that out, you figured it out yourself. So proud of you, man. Really, I'm sitting here as a proud daddy, and look, today is an amazing day. It's Thirst Day, and it's the last day in this hotel where I'm living here in the Grand Hyatt on the 35th floor. As you can see the view, right? Um, yeah, I'm moving to another location. And it's funny, the people that I went to see, um, they offered me a job, and I only went there for a coffee, and I think I've mentioned that bit already. But he's a really remarkable individual, and the place that I'm going to is really special because me and your mum stayed there before. So I have very fond memories of that place. And yeah, look, it's been a challenging 24 hours because sometimes you plan stuff, right? And God has a different plan for you. And you're like, I need this to happen by this time, otherwise this is going to happen. And then you wonder, why is it not happening, right? And I guess you just got to have faith, right? That it'll be fine. I spoke to one of my friends this morning, and when I explained my situation, she said, if I were you, I'd be in panic mode. And I said, well, what would that do? So when you panic about a scenario, all that does, it creates all this stuff within your body, right? And you think, oh, but to be honest with you, doing that is not going to solve anything, okay? You got to think of another plan, another strategy. And look, I said to my friend, I said, look, regardless of what this other person has done or not done, their actions that I expected them to do, they didn't do, but it forced me to do something else, right? And sometimes in life, you're going to get frustrated by certain things. And it's like, why can't this person just do this? Because if they don't do it, I'm going to have to look for something else. And this and that and this. And there's so many different factors, right? And I was in that place yesterday. And because it didn't get resolved yesterday, it's even more important today. But I saw the benefits, right? I saw what had happened, and I put faith in the man or woman upstairs. The universe, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, whatever you want to call this special power, the super AI, whatever it is that you would like to call it. And it's something very superstitious, right? And remember the word superstitious, what does it mean? Believing in something you can't understand or something you can't see. But the one thing I do know is there is an underlying order, which you might not think exists, right? But the facts are there is an underlying order, and we call it the grand Organized Design, ooh, which stands for GOD, the Grand Organized Design. There is a higher order at work every single day in every single way, even when you think it's not. So, day 60, saying goodbye to this place. I mean, look, my plan was to stay here. I wanted to do a deal with the hotel, get them to sponsor my YouTube channel. I had all these ideas, right? But I don't think that was God's plan, right? And look, you'll see tomorrow where the new place is, um, and how I did a deal. But it's really crazy, right? So the person I've done this deal with, I met them 4 years ago through somebody I really trust. And that conversation didn't go anywhere, but I kept this guy's details. And then what I did, the conversation I had with John D. Martini, I posted that out to a few people. And it was so funny, right? There's some people that messaged me straight away saying, "Oh my God, you interviewed John. Wow, wow, wow." And I was like, "Where have you been for the last 50 days, man? John's just come now. I've been out here for 50 days." Um, I said, "What, just because I spoke to John, now you want to say hello to me?" But it's cool, right? Look, people do what they do. But one of the people that so because of that interview, this is the gentleman. He said, "Oh, this is a very interesting interview." And that the last time I spoke to him was 4 years ago. I sent him the message, and he said, "Why don't you come for a coffee?" I went for a coffee, and he invited me and showed me the whole office where everything was. And then he said, "Look, we're going to give you 50-50 commission, yeah?" And I was like, "Mate, I only came for a coffee." But upon speaking to him again, it was apparent, and I asked him the question. I said, "Listen, you basically offered me a job, right? When I turned up, and I came for a coffee, you offered me a job." And he went, "Yeah, correct." He said, "Look, I saw how you articulated yourself in that interview, and I saw that you have something that we could benefit from in our company, which is why I want you to work with us." So that's part of my contract, with the accommodation. I said, "Look, I need somewhere to stay." They said, "We'll find it for you. We need this. We'll find it for you." And I guess they could see the value in me, right? And this is really, really important, Sunshine, that you offer value, right? You solve problems. You're good to be around. I mean, you already have those skills, right? Everybody loves to be around you. I don't know where you've learned that from. No, but you're a pleasant boy, and your mummy and daddy are both pleasant. And thanks to both of us, um, you're a beautiful little boy, and I love you dearly, Sunshine. Honestly, it was so good to see you yesterday. And the funniest part was, I don't know when you're going to see this, but when you see it, and if you're a parent, um, you'll understand this, right? He said, "Oh, Daddy, Charlie's calling," and Charlie's is your best mate, right? And because Charlie was calling, "Daddy, I've got to go. I've got to go. Charlie's calling." And it was so funny to see, but an absolute pleasure, to see your little face. And I believe you're going for your haircut today, little Lincoln. Big up Lincoln's barber shop in Urmston. Uh, the little legend who's looking after my son's hair. I never forget that day, man. That day was epic. I was on a Zoom and having the most epic conversation I've ever had in my whole life. And when that thing comes through, my name will go down in history, right? And that historic conversation, whilst it was happening, you were getting your haircut. This historical moment where somebody else was giving you a haircut whilst I was having an epic conversation. I'll never, ever, never, ever, ever, ever forget that. So day 60. of Daddy in Dubai. And look, I want to big up Mr. Sunil Osman because he said I listened to his radio show yesterday, and he gave me a little shout out all the way from South Africa, Johannesburg, Rogues Radio. He's on 10 till 1 South Africa time, and it's called the mid-morning getaway or something like that. But I really appreciate this guy, man, because he described me as hashtag daddy in Dubai. And then what I did straight after he said that, because I didn't have that hashtag on my description of the videos or the title, but it's now every single title and every single video has hashtag daddy in Dubai. And if you Google hashtag daddy in Dubai, guess what comes up? Boom, boom, boom. So another thing that happened yesterday, which is really, really quite phenomenal. Somebody I met from South Africa 20 years ago. He doesn't like to be mentioned, but he's a remarkable young man. I met him when I think he was 17, and he was reading a book called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. And when I saw that he was reading this book, I was like, wow, it'd be really amazing to see what this guy's like in a few years' time. And it didn't surprise me that he's doing some major stuff here in Dubai. And he messaged me and he said, "Yo, Dizzy, I don't know if this would interest you, but I've got a friend, I've got two projects that might need some assistance. Let me know if you think they're up your street and if you can help with these things." And he said one of them also has a barber shop, and I piqued my interest, right? Being the blockchain barber. So I connected with him. He's also from South Africa, from Cape Town. We connected. We spoke for about 2.5 hours. It was amazing. And then I said to him the next day, I said, "Let me come to your barber shop." So yesterday I went, he picked me up. We went to his barber shop, had a look at it. Really cool shop, elite barber shop. And I gave him a haircut, would you believe? And he was happy with it. And I like his shop, and I've got some ideas for his shop. I'm probably gonna end up working there a couple of days a week, only just to satisfy the fact that I'm gonna do everything I can with everything I know. And people say to me, "Are you gonna cut hair when you get to Dubai?" And look, the plan was never to do haircuts in Dubai. I wasn't coming here to do barbering. However, if I'm probably going to do work with this shop on a consultancy level. The fact that I've been in the game for 35 years, on and off, um, I've had salons, I've had barbershops, bought them, sold them, and all of that good stuff. So I know the game and I know how to play it. So I'm this afternoon, I'm actually going to go there and make him an offer on what I can do for him and his barbershop and how we can evolve what he currently has to be, take it to the next level. So that's really exciting. Really, really exciting to be. I mean, in fact, I'm that excited. I left all my clippers and that stuff there yesterday, so I'm going to go back there and sort my beard out. I think I'm going to tidy up a little bit, but I said I'll come back to your shop and do it. So that's the plan for today. And then I'm maybe the gentleman from the property company. I said to him, I said, "Look, it'd be silly for me to not take advantage of your offer and learn a little bit about the real estate market here and add another string to my bow, you could say." Day 60, Daddy in Dubai. It's been nothing short of remarkable. Look, there's another gentleman I met a couple of probably a month ago, and his name was Charmer. And I found out off my friend Andrea. She goes, "Are you talking about MC Charmer?" And I was like, "I don't know." I just met him, and his name's Charmer. I took his number. He's been living in Dubai for 15 years. And if you've been living here for 15 years, you know what's what, you know what's hot, and you know what's not, right? And so I had a ch conversation with Mr. Charmer yesterday, and we're going to go to the Wealth Creation Summit next week, Tuesday, with none other than Peter Doyle. Another legend in the game, started off as a DJ, got out of the game, and now he's does private credit and wealth creation. So I met up with him. I watched one of his YouTube. I watched one of his videos on YouTube. I really connected with him, and I thought, you know what, I want to meet you. And I met him through none other than the legend Jonathan Quayle, all the way from 20 years ago. I used to call him Mr. Quayle, the Quayle, and all of that good stuff. And you know what? We connected, and he connected me to Peter. And I really appreciate you, Jonathan, for making that happen. Um, can't believe I've known you 20 years, man. And look, if the only reason we met 20 years ago was for you to introduce me to Peter, I'm grateful, man, because Peter's a legend. I met up with Peter a couple of weeks ago, and we talked just about life. Um, I gave him a copy of my book, and he said, "Listen, you're gonna have to come to my event, which is next week." So I've ordered a special hat for that event. So when I go in there, I'm dropping it like it's hot. Do you get what I mean? You know me, sunshine. I always do it like the world's watching, and now the world is literally watching. So me and Mr. Charmer, MC Charmer, are gonna go to this event and drop it like it's hot. And Charmer's a guy, man. Look, Jaden, sometimes in life you meet certain people, right? And you click. I remember when I went to college, there were two guys, Francis and Stephen. We just clicked. And look, we clicked pretty much like you and Charlie, right? And as you get older, you'll meet more people and you'll click with them, right? And you'll be like, yo, you just know so straight away, you know, that's it. Look, I had the same thing with Andrea, the cool accountant at a networking event. We didn't even talk at the event, but she was walking in front of me and I saw that her skirt matched her trainers. And I was like, excuse me, lady with the green skirt and the matching trainers. Hello. And that was it. One conversation, one introduction. And look, I've got a feeling we're going to be friends for life, right? She's been on the show or on the channel. We've had a conversation. And remember this last Friday, thanks to her, I had sushi for the first time in I don't know how many years. So sushi's back in the house. And maybe one day you might even have sushi, eh? uh, it's going to be nice to have you and your mum here at some point in the future. Um, yeah. So look, the day's turning out like I expected. Um, my wishes are being granted slowly but surely. It's all falling into place. And today I'll be packing all my things and moving to my next location. And the question is, how long will I stay at my next location? Is the question. But it's a hot spot. It's a spot where it's got lots of activity, lots of high net worth kind of people, lots of kind of people that I want to meet up with and hang out with. And it's also where I met Potter, the rapper. And maybe, look, maybe I'll bump into him there again. Maybe he'll message me because he liked my book. Who knows? Whatever the universe has planned for me, I will gladly accept. And it's going to be beautiful, man. So, Sunshine Boy, it's been an absolute pleasure to be your dad once again, your digital daddy. Day 60 of Daddy in Dubai. Hashtag Daddy in Dubai. If you're watching this and you're not my son, click on like, click on subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question. I will get back to you 100%. At some point, I will answer your questions. And have the best day of your entire life. Go live your dreams, be honest from the heart, be truthful. And I'll finish with this, right? My friend Dennis Fleming said to me When I was 19, he said, Dizzy, everything you are seeking is seeking you in return. Therefore, everything you want is already yours. All you have to do is become aware of what you already possess, and what you already possess is the truth. Chapter 1 in my book, it says in there that only the truth shall prevail. If you do not have my book, you're not going to be able to get it because you can only get it through me. It's not out on general release. The first 500 copies went out 18 to 20 years ago when they were produced in 2009. Yeah, so it was produced then, and 500 copies were printed. They all went out, and then I printed another 1,000, and I think 800 are still at my dad's house, um, or however many boxes are there. But I brought some with me, and some have been out, and I think I'm halfway through the box. A big up Dave, who came from Manchester with a box of books. I was like, Dad, I've run out of books, and I just tried lots of ways of trying to get my books out here. And then I rang my good mate Tony Two Phones, and I said, Hey, T, anyone coming to Dubai? He went, Yeah, Dave's coming tomorrow. And I was like, Wow. So Dave came to my house, picked up the books, and they were here the next day. Thank you, God. So, day 60, hashtag Daddy in Dubai. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my son. It's been a pleasure to be your dad in Dubai. See you on the next call.